Good morning, everyone. Again, this is your girl Tanisha with my water. I keep telling y'all, drinking water in the morning. Muy excelente way to help lose weight. But anyway, I'm coming to you on a more, I guess it's serious, but even in serious situations, I like to be a little lighthearted. But my question is this morning, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? I meet a lot of people on a daily basis, and I discuss things about what they want to do in life, what they want to become, what business they want to open, what type of family life they want to have, what things they want to acquire, what ministry they want to begin, what idea or invention they have and they want to be brought to fruition. So my question is to them and to you as you watch this video is, how bad do you want it? Are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to put in the hours? Are you willing to put in the sweat? Are you willing to put in the tears to acquire what it is that you want? See, a lot of people nowadays look around and they see people who have acquired or have obtained or who have some level of success. And all they want is the success. All they want is the car. All they want is the house. But you never know what the story is behind that glory. And by that glory, I mean what they've accomplished. You don't know what they had to go through. You don't know who they had to do what to or what with in order to acquire the things that they have. But let's just assume that everybody did what they did and acquired what they acquired legitimately, the right way, whatever the right way may be. Are you willing to put in that kind of work? Are you willing to do what it is that needs to be done? I'm going to use myself for an example. Quite a few times in life, I've had to put in work. The first time that I can honestly say that I felt like I really just had to put in work, I breezed through undergrad. Undergrad was nothing. I was partying all the time and still graduated with like a 3 something. But when I got to law school and their suggestion was not to work full time because you were always in your books, I had to make up in my mind my first year, my contracts class. I remember so vividly leaving my contracts class, and that class was so overwhelming and it seemed like so much information was involved that I literally had a panic attack when I left. From the time I left school to the time I got home, I was crying, breathing hard, like, I just don't think I'll be able to do this. I mean, a full-blown panic attack. And I've never had one before in my life. I mean, anxiety took over me so bad that day. So I got home and I stood on my balcony of the apartment I stayed in at that point in time, and I looked out across the yard or whatever was in the middle of the apartment complex, and I said to myself those words, how bad do you want it? And this was the first semester of my law school career. And lo and behold, 3 years later, I graduated with a law degree. I bust my behind. I'm talking about, and I worked full time. They tell you not to work full time. But I worked full time and I was on the dean's list. So it's like, how bad do you want it? Another situation. After I got married and got divorced. And around the time that I was divorced, I was pregnant with my ex-husband's son. So part of me was like, well, maybe give him up for adoption, because I can't do this on my own, you know. Whew. Anyway, can't do this on my own. So I remember going and getting an ultrasound and hearing his heartbeat. And I was like, I'm not going to give my baby up for adoption. We about to do this. And at that point in time, I didn't really have the money to sit, because I had moved to a new state. And I didn't really have the money to sit for a new bar exam, because that takes money. I mean, it takes money. Sorry, y'all. I'm just crying. Shoot. Anyway, that takes money. So I didn't sit for the bar exam. So I started working as an office manager and for a resume writing company. And resume writing. You didn't think there was companies that write resumes, but actually there are. So the lady who actually owned the resume writing company was one of the largest. She owned one of the largest federal resume writing companies in the world. Let's just put it like this. Her federal resumes began at $500. And I'm talking about for people who wanted to work within the federal government. It's not a regular kind of resume. It's a resume that can take 2, 3, 4, 5, sometimes 2 hours to write, sometimes 2 or 3 days to write, depending upon what level of the government you're applying for. So, you know, I worked there for a little while and eventually end up getting fired. What I learned there was how to write resumes. So when fast forward to when me and my ex-husband got divorced and it was just me and my son, I did everything and anything I knew to do to make money. I'm talking about I wrote resumes. I'm talking about I wrote papers for college students. I'm talking about I tutored. I'm talking about I did makeup. I did hair. I did whatever it took to make sure that me and my son would have. I'm talking about whatever it took. And luckily I had a good support system that was able to, you know, pick him up and keep him and all these other good things. But I did what I had to do in order to make it work. Okay, fast forward to now. I'm settled in my career as a makeup and hairstylist and photographer. And while right now I don't have to hustle and grind like I used to when it was just me and my little boy, now it's more of a different kind of hustle and grind. It's the kind of hustle where I'm 30 something. At some point in time I want to retire, and I want to retire well, and I want to be able to travel, and I want to be able to see different parts of the world with my spouse. I want to make sure that my son is able to attend schools that will get him adequately prepared for life. So every day when I get up and I'm marketing on Facebook, or I'm marketing on Instagram, or I'm marketing on YouTube, just know it's somebody who's behind all of that, who in the back of her mind is always saying, how bad do you want it? Now, while I pride myself on giving my customers good service, you come to me for service, we're going to get you all the way together. Hair, makeup, photography. I'm going to make sure you're happy. In any way, shape, form, or fashion, reasonably, I'm going to make sure that you are a happy customer, because I recognize your words are going to mean something to your family and your friends. But my point is this, is how bad do you want it? I have a lot of makeup artists, up and coming makeup artists, come to me and say, Tanisha, I want to work, you know, somewhere similar to where you work. I want to be your assistant. I want to do this. How can you teach me this? Can you teach me that? I can teach you anything. But at the end of the day, when I've taught you how to do eyebrows, how to do lashes, how to do makeup, how to basically do what makeup artists do, how will you take that information and how will you use that information to obtain the status of a full-time makeup artist? How will you do it? How bad do you want it? Will you get up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and post your work to different social media platforms? Will you be consistently going through Craigslist trying to find new clients? Will you be consistently posting replies to clients who are asking information by way of your website? Will you be consistently trying to network with other makeup artists and other people in the industry, hairstylists, photographers, fashion designers, event planners? Will you be constantly doing that? Will you constantly go to different events just to hobnob with people who don't know who you are, but you have to make the advancement? You have to approach them and say, you know, I'm such and such and I do this, that, and another. Are you willing to put in the time? Are you willing to put out your resume to different companies who have freelance gigs available, even though they say, you know, you're not in the bureau? Are you willing to pay the money to get in the bureau, the makeup artist bureau, the union? Are you willing to do that? So it's not just paint and brushes. It's not just lipstick and liner. How bad do you want it? And that's with any business decision. That's with any decision in life. How bad do you want it? Are you willing to put in the time? Are you willing to put in the effort? Are you willing to put in the energy? Many nights I done come home from work tired. Son still jumping around. Still wanting to play. Still wanting to talk. And I'm just literally wore out. And I still got to play with him. And I still got to talk with him. But you know, at the same time, I have this kind of schedule that if I want to take, like today, I'm off. So guess what? Me and him, we rolling today. We going to the pool because we love the pool. He love the pool. I love the pool. Everybody love the pool. We going to the pool. I might get him a $1 ice cream because that's all he really care about. Might take him to the playground. You know, I'm just going to spend time with him. Now, while I'm there at those places, I might shoot out a picture on Instagram, shoot out a picture on YouTube. Excuse me, whatever the situation may be. But at the end of the day, I've worked for that. You know, I've worked to be able to determine where I want to be when I want to be there. And this has not just happened just over the last week. So my question to you is how bad do you want it? How bad do you want the business? How bad do you want the house? How bad do you want the car? How bad do you want the education? How bad do you want the good relationship? How bad do you want it? And are you willing to put in the work for it? If you're not willing to put in the work, you might as well hang up your cleats, get off the field, and go home. Because it requires work. It requires dedication. It requires some tears. I always tell people there was a time when I first started doing makeup artistry here in Atlanta, Georgia. Well, at Greenbrier Discount Mall where I used to work. And I live in Gwinnett County. I would be riding on fumes to get to work and have $2 to my name. I'm not talking about just in my pocket. I'm talking about to my name, meaning my bank account said 0 and I had $2 in my pocket. Okay? So I'm going to tell you how it really is out here. These people want to just show you that it's just makeup. Okay. $2 to my name. And that's what I had to trust God. That when I got to work, somebody was going to want my service. Somebody was going to want some brows done. Somebody was going to want some lashes done. Something. Man, every single time, he would come through. Many times, I just be in amazement. Like, I left home with $2. Came home with 100, 150. Had no appointments on the book, but just different people that were walking by. So even in that, you know, he was building my faith and showing me, look, how bad do you want it? Are you still gonna show up on the job and you have no appointments? But are you gonna show up on the job and be there in case somebody comes? See, one time this young lady who used to work with me at the discount mall, she said one thing about business is your business will grow if your clients can depend on you. Let that soak in. And that's any kind of business, not just my business, any kind of business. Can your clients depend on you to be there? So it was days I had no appointments, but I was there. So these are the little things that you have to do and go through in order for you to acquire the things you want out of life. It's not just handed to you. Unless you just one of the lucky few, like Paris Hilton. If you're one of the lucky few and life got handed to you and you have no worries financially or who you're going to be or what you're going to become, then okay, congratulations. But for the 99% of the rest of us out here in the world, just saying, how bad do you want it? Ask yourself that. Are you willing to lay out a plan to acquire what it is that you want? Proper planning will help you. So I just wanted to come and be on a more serious note, but still keep it a little bit lighthearted. And once again, this has been your girl, Tanisha. And I'll see you next time. Bye.